Sunrise in focus now, and the Beckham saga
I've been thinking about that one for a long
begs
time.
the question, why do people cheat on their partners? And why do you become, as Mark's been telling us, a serial cheater? Do they fall prey to temptation, or do they go looking for it?
Well, here to discuss the issue is Anne Hollins from Relationships Australia and author Des Carroy. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in. Look, I suppose this is a $50,000 million question, isn't it, Anne? Why does this happen? Why do people cheat?
Okay, well, I think there are three main reasons why. Firstly, some people are unhappy and they have affairs to make themselves feel better. Okay? Makes them feel good, feel attractive, desirable. Secondly, some people just do it because they can, because the opportunity is there and it's a bit of fun and they don't feel a great sense of responsibility towards their partner. And the last group is those that do it as a way of really trying to get out of their relationship, an indirect way of bringing things to an end.
Okay, so they think that this could be the catalyst. They want to be found out, and this could be the way of breaking up with their partner.
Unconsciously, they don't think that way, but ultimately they are found out and then things do unravel and it is a way of ending it.
Do you think they're the ones that would keep SMS messages for a number of years? Because that's
weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think people keep them?
Oh, well, look, some people keep SMSs as a sort of a thing, a nostalgia thing, you know, like love letters. That makes, you know, it's a reminder of a love affair that they had. But there are other, I guess, more cynical reasons we could think of these days in the world of, you know, big money and fame and celebrity.
Des, do people go looking for affairs? And once you've had one, do people then become serial, as we've been saying in the news, serial cheaters? Do people just constantly do it?
It's a good question. I don't think most people consciously go looking for affairs. I mean, you do have some people say, I think I'm going to have an affair tonight. I think most people sort of drift into them for the reasons that Anne was stating before. And I think it is easier once you've had that first affair to have other affairs, because you've broken the ice, so to speak. And if you have to deal with a little guilt, well, why not deal with a little bit more, so to speak? So it can be a problem.
What about the effect of fame on fidelity? I mean, we're talking, I suppose, the Beckham affair has prompted this discussion, obviously, but the effect of having someone like David Beckham, who is an international superstar, women would throw themselves at him. How would that go into the whole thing?
Well, look, you know, obviously he's got lots of opportunity. There's no question about that. But I don't think there's any reason to feel sorry for him because of that, in the sense that, you know, he'd be aware of those risks, and it's not something that they're ignorant of or unaware of. So in that sense, it does require, I guess, more vigilance and even more of a commitment to your partnership to withstand those sorts of pressures. But it doesn't mean it can't be done.
Yeah. If you're the partner, Des, and your other partner has an affair, can you ever trust them again?
Well, yeah, you can build up those grounds of trust again, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of time, because trust is probably one of the most tenuous things in a relationship. And if a rupture in a relationship happens like an affair, it takes a lot of work to get back to that point again.
But you're saying if a person breaks the ice and has one affair, they're more likely to have another one because they've got over the hurdle. But if you're their partner and they say, no, I'll never do it again, well, you're on pretty shaky ground.
It takes time. I mean, initially you're going to have problems with trust. So it takes a real commitment to the relationship to get back into it again. I might want to say one more thing about the fame thing. I agree with you. It is very difficult for people who are famous to remain faithful to their partner, because they're being thrown a lot of attention constantly. And then you have people who are predators who are just looking to bring down the faithfulness of a relationship and keep SMS messages for 2 years. Why did Monica Lewinsky keep that dress? The same reason. So it's very difficult for people who are famous.
All right, and you've got some advice for people. We might bring up a graphic and we'll get you to walk us through it and tell us some of these tips for people.
Well, basically, there are 5 tips here. Cheating's never a good idea. I mean, don't kid yourself. Don't delude yourself that this is going to be a good thing. Ultimately, it leads to a lot of heartache, a lot of destruction for you personally as well as for your family or your relationship. Be honest with yourself and with your partner. If you can, that's the first thing you've got to try and be honest with yourself about your feelings and about what's happening. Don't pretend it's something it's not. Consider the consequences for others of your actions. Try to think through, well, what will this mean for my kids, for my partner, for my family generally? And of course, seek professional help with your relationship problems. Don't deal with them in this indirect fashion. I mean, these are ethical issues we're dealing with. The questions about how to behave ethically, you know, in the modern world in terms of your relationships.
Are men more likely to have affairs than women, Des?
I think at one time that was true because, you know, women were home with the kids and the only thing they had was a milkman. And the poor milkman had to go to a lot of homes, so he was tired, you know. So, but now today with money and women have their own resources and they're in the office, you know, women are having just as many affairs as men.
And just finally too, obviously it would be hard for a couple to get past this sort of thing. How hard would it be for Posh and Bex, seeing as the whole public, the whole world knows about it? Would that be an extra element that would make it difficult?
Well, absolutely. I think that the fact that your every move is being scrutinised and your facial expressions being analysed by worldwide media does make this extremely difficult for couples under that kind of scrutiny. But it's not impossible. I'm always a believer that, you know, it really depends upon the commitment that the two people are prepared to make to each other that can overcome huge obstacles.
Okay.
Okay, and they've got 2 little kids, so you can only hope.
Thank you both for being with us this morning.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.